How would you describe the symptoms of perimenopause and then getting into menopause?
Irregular periods where one day you've got your period, the next day 5 weeks, not 4 weeks, and now it's super, super heavy. So it's just irregular. Trouble sleeping, so interrupted sleep, whether you can't fall asleep or can't stay asleep. And then a lot of women experience weight gain in these crazy areas that don't make any sense and we never did before. So whether we're talking belly fat or whether we're talking about just distribution differently because we're talking about hormone shifts. And then I think the other big one that we are starting to talk about a lot more is like the mental health of it all, where we're talking about anxiety or rage or depression or feeling just different. The big sentence I hear a lot of women utter is, I just don't feel like myself anymore. And anytime I hear that, I'm like, oh, this is it. That is where that is starting to happen. And we don't necessarily know how to course correct like we did before because things are just not the same.
Now, are these symptoms like a normal part of the process, or are they just typical today because of
everything else that's happening?
Poor metabolic health, environmental exposures, et cetera.
I think that there's a question about that, right? There's people that are like, oh my gosh, it can't all be perimenopause. But if you're in that time frame and you're going through these things and your hormones are changing, you can pretty much assume that is what you're going through. Is it all that? It doesn't have to be. Could it be that like you don't work out anymore and you're not eating right anymore and you're not whatever it is and the stress is so overwhelming? That could all contribute to it. But for the most part, these are pretty typical symptoms and they're just symptoms we hadn't talked about before. They'd say like, oh my gosh, she's being crazy. That's how we would coin a woman in this transition versus saying, oh, what else is actually going on health-wise with her?